Hi, I'm Sawchuck, and I'm a big deal. You know, I started magic when I was a kid. I was about 7 years old, and my uncle and aunt got me a magic kit from the Hudson's Bay Company in Vancouver, and it was a standard little Houdini magic set. And before that, I actually got like a travel kind of tourist magic kit from Reno. My uncle and aunt went there, and they gave it to me. So it was a collaboration of a few magic kits when I was younger, and then I just started from there. And I realized when I did a trick for adults, they weren't saying go away. They were saying, hey, how did you do the trick? So I thought, oh, there's something there. So on the weekends, I would actually do magic shows, and I was a lifeguard for all the Burnaby pools for 5 years, 6 years of my life. But up to that point, I was taking swimming lessons at all the pools around the Lower Mainland, and you know, when you walk in, there's those tack boards you can put up for sale signs, garage sales. Well, I would put up signs for my magic show, $50 for a magic show for half an hour. I had an offer when I was 19 to start touring and traveling, and the first thing was a cruise ship out of Montreal, Canada, so to New York for 2 months. And so I went and did that. And after we did that for 2 months, I got extended 5 times, so I stayed 7 months. So after that, I never looked back. I started touring the world. You know, my favorite part of the show is anything that makes the audience laugh. I love making people laugh. So I've won over 24 awards. I'm a world champion magician, which is lovely. But anyone can clap. Anyone can put your hands together. It's very simple. But to make somebody laugh, it's a natural reaction. So that's my favorite part of the whole show, is when you make people laugh. Every month or every 6 months, I have new things I love. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we just did a big production on the Hallmark Channel's Home and Family show, and it was the first time ever in morning TV. It was the largest illusion ever done, and the first time ever done with a grizzly bear. It was a 950-pound grizzly bear, and I designed a tool shed, and we opened it and closed it, and then the bear was there. And it's online, everyone can see it, and that was one of my favorite tricks, because that was the most recent, and it took us 6 weeks to build and design and that, so it varies, you know what I mean? One of the greatest tricks I ever did was vanishing a 1918 steam train on America's Got Talent, and that was the simplest train my dad worked on, because he's from BC and he worked in the railway for 37 years, so it was an ode to him. So America's Got Talent approached me every year for 5 years. They called me, and I said no, because it's like the Gong Show. You work all your life, 20 years, and then you do one trick and say it doesn't go well or it's not received well by the audience. That looks bad, and it's on the internet for life. But then I started watching people like William Hung from America's Got Talent. You may remember him. He couldn't sing, but he was on there for like 3 months. He's making $30,000 an appearance, and he has no talent. Unbelievable. So once I saw that, I thought, you can't beat the exposure. Even if you sucks really bad, it's still exposure. People still remember you. And it was great. They said yes, and I laid down the 5 tricks I was going to do if I went through each round. And I said, every trick I'm going to do has never been done on your show, and never been really done in a live audience. I think one of the most memorable is, having a show on the Las Vegas Strip. I mean, I'm from Canada. I never assumed to even be living in the States, or having a career. I was excited if I got to perform at the Queen Elizabeth Theater downtown. Having your own show on the Strip is kind of hard to believe. I mean, I go to work and I'm working, so, you've come in and you've seen me. I'm kind of, I know everybody and I'm talking to people, so it's a job for me, When I'm on stage, I'm the most relaxed, because it's my show. I know how it works. I've done it. It's off stage, it's a lot of work, But yeah, it's a huge highlight, because how many people get to drive to work and say they have a show on the Strip in Las Vegas? Basically, I always say if you took Phyllis Diller and Dean Martin and put them together, that's kind of who you have on stage, or Andy Warhol and Lady Gaga. But it's one of those shows where it's kind of like, I'm kind of like Dennis the Menace. That's my style of magic. I don't take anything seriously, and it's important that the audience knows that I'm on their side. I'm not against them. I am an audience member. So what I'm doing on stage, there's some stuff that will fool you. There's other stuff I'll do just to be silly and funny, because I know exactly what you're thinking in the audience. So that'll come through on stage. Anyone who wants to be an entertainer, just never give up. It's not an easy life, it's not an easy road, but nothing's easy if you want to be successful. There's nothing that is easy. I mean, sure, we all say to our kids and family members, go to school, get a degree, but the one class nobody gets taught is how to get the job. But with entertainment, your degrees are either Oscars or Tonys or trophies, or I got to finally play Vegas, or I played Singapore, or I got to tour Europe. Those are our kind of degrees, and that kind of shows your success. So no matter what business you're in, if you want to get in the entertainment business, the key is to keep working. I don't care whether it's senior centers, free shows, charities, because you will get a big show, but the problem is when you're not working and not looking busy, no one wants you. When you're busy, everyone wants you, and that's the key. Even if you have to fake it to look like you're busy, fake it till you make it. And I've always said that to people. I said you always have to be busy and proactive. You know, because when you're working, you're getting better. Even if you don't feel like you are, you always are.
So question number 1. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live and why?
I would live, I think, in Santorini, Greece, because it's in the middle of the ocean, and I love the water, and the architecture there is amazing, and the history is unbelievable.
Number 2, if I gave you $50 right now to spend on anything, what would it be?
I would give it to the Wounded Warriors Foundation, which is charity for military.
Number 3, tell us something about yourself that would surprise people.
I rode in the rodeo. I rode in the rodeo for 21 years.
And number 4, what is one guilty pleasure you aren't willing to give up?
One guilty pleasure, coffee. Love coffee. 8 cups a day. That's my drug.
And number 5, what advice would you give to your 15-year-old self?
My 15-year-old self is never get intimidated by people that make fun of you. And stick to your roots. If you want to wear a crazy hat and a tattoo on your arm or a crazy shirt, wear it, because that's what makes you individual. The worst thing to do is to be the same as everyone else, in my opinion.
Great. And because this is our Vegas edition,
Yes.
We asked the same question about your guilty pleasure. What is your Vegas guilty pleasure?
My Vegas guilty pleasure, people watching at 3 a.m. in the morning, because it's the best. You see all the women take 10 hours to get ready. Brand new shoes. Couldn't wear ones they already bought for 20 years. They got to wear the brand new ones, brand new dress, 3 a.m., carrying them in their hand. $300 pair of shoes in your hand. Should have bought gloves. It's better than shoes.
What's something that you miss about Vancouver, about home?
Oh, what I miss about Vancouver? I miss everything about Vancouver. You know, you don't realize how great Vancouver is until you leave. You know, we always complain about the rain, you know, and the traffic and rush hour and all that stuff. But then you realize we have one of the greenest cities in the world, and people don't realize you can be at the beach in one second, and 20 minutes later you can be skiing on, you know, Grouse Mountain or Seymour or wherever you're going, Cyprus, you know, within 20 minutes, you know. And you have the water, and you have the great parks like Stanley Park, and the downtown, and the food and the culture and all that. So, and it's eclectic. I mean, you want Greek, you can have Greek. You want Italian, you want Chinese, you want Korean food. It's all there, you know. And it's very close, you know. So it's a very clean city. I mean, people don't realize that until you start traveling. People think, oh my God, Grand Old Street's so dirty or whatever. Well, I'll show you dirty, you know. So, but when you live there, that's what you live in. You don't travel much. You complain about your own city until you travel. I think it's the most amazing city, you know. I think it's almost as clean as Singapore, and Singapore is an extremely clean city. I mean, it's unbelievable how clean Singapore is. So yeah. So I probably miss probably downtown, Yale Town area, Gastown, that kind of area.